Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video in the Reef Life with myself, Dutch Reefer, and today I'm going to give you a little tour around the tank. I've got a new lighting schedule on since about a week or so. Has been giving me good results in the first week at least. I'm overall seeing better polyp expansion. And I think overall the tank is doing it just that little bit better because of this new lighting schedule. Let's start off by showing you the LPS, since those are the most noticeable changes so far. So the Duncans have always looked a bit puffy already, but since a couple of days they are extremely puffy. As you can see as well here on the right side, there's even bubbles forming. While they were small at first, they're growing larger and larger. So I'm not yet sure if I like it this way, because it seems like kind of an anomaly. But overall, I guess it doesn't hurt, and it looks okay. Makes it look a bit spacey. I don't know if you've seen that before on Duncans, but well, there you have it. And overall, the Ricordea are also looking quite nice. Actually, something really amazing happened this week. This Ricordea right here, I've had this for a couple of years. It's supposed to be this color, this orange. It has always been that way, at least when it was doing all right. And today, or at least a couple of days ago, it created its first offspring. It's right here, as you can see. So this little green dot right here below the Ricordea is actually, just a little offspring from the giant one above that. And how it works, they just let go just a little piece, and first it's still attached to the base, and then after a day or two, it releases itself from the base, and then it's a separate coral. So that's how they multiply. As you can see, there are several others as well in different stages of growth. So as you can see right here, if the fish don't get in the way, I guess the fish are hungry. They'll get to you in a minute, guys. So as you can see right here, these are still fairly new ones. Then this one here at the bottom is already started developing just a little bit, so you can see that it's already started forming polyps. And then this one right here is already a bit more grown. Right there, it's a bit camouflaged, but this one right here, it's already a bit bigger. Same goes for this one right here. So yeah, as they reproduce, of course they multiply, and you get more and more. And sometimes they just release those little tiny bits. And what also happens is sometimes they just form a new mouth within the same coral, and then they split in that way. So there's actually two ways that these corals can multiply. And I'm not sure if it depends on species, since while these are all Ricordea, they're all a bit different, of course. The colors are a bit different. There's Umas, there's Floridas, so there's various species. And I haven't found out yet if the way they reproduce depends on the species, or if it's it can go either way, so they can decide for themselves how they want to reproduce. So moving on from the Ricordea, actually before moving on, I also want to show you these Ricordea right here. These have been on the top of the tank for quite a while now. I was curious to see how they would develop. I hope they would survive at the very least. But as you can see, they're doing all right. They look completely happy up there, even though normally you would expect them to be a bit lower into the tank. Seems like they're doing just fine, just that bit higher. I still need to do a par reading at some point, but I haven't found anyone with a par meter, reliable bar meter yet, so I have to check if someone in the neighborhood or in the hobby that's nearby actually has one of those, so I can do a good par reading and decide whether the lighting is adequate for the tank or not. Maybe it's a bit too much, but well, I'm not sure. The corals seem perfectly happy with it, at least most corals. So moving on, these tracheophilia, I've had those for a couple of years, so some of them. So this one, I think I had the green one, I think I've had for 2 or 3 years. And then the other one's a bit shorter. This one for a year, this one for a couple of months, and this one for half a year. But what I do notice is that now and then the copper band gives it just a little nibble, and I'm not sure why. But the only thing it does is it nibbles at exactly the center of the mouth. So apparently it looks delicious or something. That's the only thing that it does. So sometimes it just gives it that little peck and then moves away when nothing happens, or when the coral retracts a bit, of course, because the trachea obviously doesn't like fish nipping at its flesh, its tissue. Yeah, all in all, the LPS are doing great with this new light schedule. Overall, the Zoanthas are also developing quite nicely. You can see they're multiplying quite quickly. I actually moved those. These Oompa Loompas were here before, but they were getting a bit pushed out of the way by these ones, these pink diamonds. So I decided to move them over here so they have a bit more room to grow and not be harassed by other Zoanthas. Of course, it's to be expected when you put Zoanthas like this on a small island or a small rock that eventually they will start competing for space on that rock, and that's what's happening. So of course, as you can see, still a lot of room to grow, and nothing to worry about as of now. Other Zoanthas are right here, so these have been on the reef for quite a while, and they're actually grown onto this reef pillar right here. And then there's a couple of that I moved. These were a little bit more in the back at first, but you can see them very well. And since I really like the way that these Zoanthas look, I decided to move them forward a bit. I think these are colored very pretty, a bit peach-like, and that might even be the actual name that they're given. Yeah, those are also beautiful Zoanthas that are in the tank. And the last ones are right here. You can see them in this picture all together. The fast growers right here beneath the eel, the ribbon eel. As you can see, they're really growing quite fast, and the eel is having I don't know what it's doing, but it's definitely touching them and moving around. Of course, he will receive a lancefish in half an hour, so it's probably hungry, waiting for food. Still a beautiful shot of this amazing fish, or creature. I wouldn't even call it a fish. It's although it probably is. And then the last two are these pink diamonds, which I've told you before. These are quick growers, and these watermelons and friends. I think these are radioactives right here, and watermelons, which are quite common. Nevertheless, beautiful to keep in the tank. Other LPS are doing fine as well. This Blasto Musa, as you can see, is doing well. I'm thinking about moving these a little bit more to the top of the tank, or to the middle, since they are, yes, they are very beautiful. The color is also very beautiful, but it's a bit in the shades. As you can see, it's being overshadowed by this huge soft coral, which is also, of course, beautiful, but also very large. And yeah, either I need to remove a piece of this, or move this one so it gets a little bit more of that sweet daylight during the day. So one last thing that I wanted to highlight is that I've got some planaria, or flatworms as you might call them, in my tank. I found out just this afternoon, so I'll be on the lookout for a nice res in the next week to clean those flatworms out, get rid of them. If you have any tips for a nice small res that is also fairly beautiful, please feel free to leave this in the comments. I'm always looking for new and nice and unique fish. Of course, there's a budget, so a couple of hundred is too much. But if you have a nice fish in mind that I could add to this tank to get rid of the flatworms, then feel free to suggest one. And that also, that before in the video, let me show you quickly. Not that it matters, but as you can see right here on this leather coral, there's small flatworms, and there's also some on this this soft coral right here. So yeah, definitely need to get rid of those, but it's still early days, so nothing too much to worry about. Still, it's nice to get rid of them, since well, it doesn't actually benefit the tank a lot. It actually hurts it a bit. So, wrapping up the video, the sump, as you can see, cleaned that out last week, so everything is going smooth in here. The skimmer is performing really well. As you can see, it's skimming a bit on the wet side, but that's how I like it. I like to get those nutrients out as quickly as possible. As you can see, that works pretty well. Also, still very happy with the ReefMat. This really gives the water that clear edge, and combined with carbon, you get absolutely crystal clear water. Of course, also UVC. So a fleece filter, UVC, and carbon is the best possible option to keep your water pristine and crystal clear. And again, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you again in the next video. For now, I hope you have a nice week ahead of you with you and yours, and take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.